Hello Libra, it's February 2014. I'm Dadhichi from Astrological.com.au. I wanted to touch on a theme this month which is dear to all our hearts, and it will be especially to you being born under the sign of the scales, and that is success. You see, right now you have Mars moving through your sun sign, so it gives you a lot of dynamic energy, a lot of drive. But how well directed is that? You know, often we fall into habits. You know, the word for that is complacency. You know, complacency, it's sort of like, you know, well, I've figured out how to do that. I'll just keep doing it the same way. And here right now we see you've got Mercury moving into the 6th sector, the sign of Pisces. 6th sector is your work practices. I need to talk to you about this because as much energy as you have to achieve what you want to achieve, unless you have the strategy and the vision, along with the desire to be successful, all of that energy is going to be dissipated. It's interesting, I remember talking to one of my spiritual mentors. You know, he used to talk about success in spiritual matters. And he said the same thing, you need to have the desire to achieve something, to be the best at it, and to achieve that. The student asked, how much desire? He said, I'll tell you how much desire. If I held your head under a bathtub full of water, what would you desire? An ice cream cone? After 1 minute? 2 minutes? Some sweets? A nice meal at the local canteen? No, you would desire a breath of air, and you would desire nothing else. So that desire component is what motivates. That's the fuel for the success that I'm talking about here. We see here Mercury for you is transiting in its forward and backward motion throughout this month. This is called retrogression. So Mercury is important for you because it's showing this strategizing and this change of plan for your work practices is essential. You cannot be complacent. This month you need to mix things up. You need to try new methodologies. If you're going to be successful, that's the only way you can do it. You've got to differentiate yourself from everyone else. So when this happens, when Mercury goes retrograde, it is empowered to give you more scope. It allows you to regroup your energies, to focus, to really look at what you want to do and how you can do it better. Yeah, the successful people in life are the ones, people often ask me, why should I get into something like that? Everyone else is doing it. Well, just imagine if Pepsi-Cola, when they were strategizing their business plan, decided, well, Coca-Cola's out there, why should we do that? No, they went into the market and differentiated themselves. And that competition became really good for both companies. So I'm saying the same thing to you. Don't dismiss an idea because you think so many other people are doing it or it's been done before. You've got the ability, and as long as you have the desire, you can make that happen. What are some of the other aspects here? The creativity aspect is very important. The sun in the 5th house of creativity for you is right now is very, very strategic in this sense. Around the 15th, we see two very key aspects. The sun in triangular aspect to Mars, that Mars that's giving you the drive and the energy, in the 1st house or the sun sign, and sun itself in the 5th house of creativity. So this is the time of the month when you really need to take your ideas. Don't dismiss them. Even if you don't think an idea is good, Libra, write it down. Just hold that thought. Jot them down, and maybe at the end of the week, just go over them. Distill them down into what can be the best of all of those ideas. Another aspect there that I see, we see the sun to Mercury around the same date, and the Mercury in triangular aspect to Mars. All of these are very, very enlivening sorts of aspects that give you a lot of confidence and help you along the path of your success, reconstituting the way you do your work, finding those new methodologies that I'm talking about. The sun again moves into the 6th house on the 19th of February. So once again, you've got another dose of this energy, bringing with it more focus in this area. Even if you try to avoid what I'm saying, you're not going to be able to avoid it because these planets are going to force you into that situation. Sun in the 6th house sometimes also has to do with your dietary plan. This is the area of health. So just as it relates to your methodologies in work, it's going to tie in your work and your health at this time. If you're unhealthy Even if you've got the desire, then I'm trying to build on these. There's several components to this success. We see again, yes, you may have the energy and the drive, the mental energy and the drive. You may have the desire, but if you don't have the health to back that up, then that's also not going to work for you. So it's important, focus on your health, your diet, get back to your program of exercise. 19th of February, that'll be a lot easier. You'll be able to redirect some of that energy into those departments of your life. The right angle, what we call the square aspect on the 19th, makes you mentally a little lethargic. The 5th house Mercury, because what we've got here is Mercury moving out of the 6th house back into the 5th house. So we had that component that has to do with your methodologies at work, then moving into the creative aspects. Now that's interesting because unless you're feeling creative and absolutely in love with what you're doing, we see that this Mercury is going to take you back into that department of your life to stimulate the creative love for what you do. So that's the final component I want to talk about now. If you have all of those other things, but you don't have the love for what you do, then it's one of those fizzes. So keep that in mind. If you can get that happening, that's going to be difficult because a lot of you ask me, I have so many people, hundreds and hundreds of people saying to me, Dadhichi, what am I supposed to do? I don't know what I want to do. Well, I say to them, until you know exactly what it is you want to do, what you love to do, what's the old saying? You love what you do, and that will lead to you doing what you love. I'd like to sort of finish on that note. I think that's important. I've kept it pretty focused on this issue this month. Next month we'll maybe move into another department of your life. Until then, do join me at my website, astrology.com.au. We have a whole range of forecasts there, your daily readings, this monthly reading in more detail, and the yearly forecast. At the beginning of the year, you should have a look at that and get what I've said here in context. Until next month, have fun, find that creative love. I hope it works for you. I'll see you here again then. Bye-bye.